So good morning everyone. This is our assignment 6 video 2 where we have to go for a specific topic. So I have taken the transaction management and it has been recorded on OBS. So transaction management is the very important concept, or I would say the topic in database management system, and there we have to make our students understand that how transactions they are going to take place when they are going to work on databases. And let's start with the transaction concept. So how we define a transaction, or what is a transaction? So any transactions that reads or write to a database, and it may consist of few statements. So that statement is going to be like when we are going to use the select statement, and when we use the select statement, when we have to generate a list of different contents from a particular table, then a series of related update statements. So update will be used when we have to make some changes in the values inside the table. Then a series of insert statements, that is going to be considered as transaction, because insert statement is going to help to add the new rows in the tables. And combination of select, update and insert statements, they are going to give us the transactions. So we define transaction as a logical unit of work on a database, which is going to work or cover the entire program, or a portion of a program, or a single command. So all these statements, the entire series of the steps that are required to accomplish a logical unit of work. So once a transaction is successful, and it is going to change the database from one consistent state to another. So basically the transactions are going to take place in one or the other form on the database, but will ensure that database is in a consistent form. So there are some examples of the transactions, like updation of a record. So when we have to update the record, after that we have to ensure the record should be located on the disk. Then how we are going to bring the record into the buffer, then update the data in the buffer, and writing data back to the disk. So all these are the small transactions which are going to be combined together in a particular series that is going to make one transaction. So there are four major properties of a transaction. That is, first is atomic. That is, either the transaction is successful or it is not successful. So atomic is whether it is all or it is nothing. Then consistent. So consistence means where each user is responsible to ensure that their transaction would leave the database in a consistent state. That means the way it is required, it should be updated that way. Then isolation. So isolation is what simultaneously transactions being executed on the server, each and every transaction is going to work or will be executed in an isolated way where no transactions are going to cross each other. Then durability, whatever operation is going to be performed through that transaction or any of the transaction, the actions are going to be recorded for the longest time, till the time we go and make the changes. So basically when we say what are the properties of a transaction, we call it ACID properties. So A for atomic, C for consistent, I for isolation, and D for durability. So this is all for the day. Thank you so much. So I'll stop.